Good evening. North Battleford RCMP are investigating an attempted armed robbery. It happened Friday night just after 7:30 in the area of 17th Avenue and 102nd Street. RCMP say the female victim was walking alone when a man approached her, pushed her down, and attempted to steal the victim's purse. There was a brief struggle before the man was scared off by witnesses who came to the woman's aid. The woman was not injured in the attack. He did not take off with any of her belongings. The suspect is described as Aboriginal, wearing all dark clothing, slim, and no facial hair. Now, if you have any information on this incident, you're asked to call North Battleford RCMP at 306-446-1720. It's been a busy year for the Conservative MP riding of Westlock St. Paul as they work on the development of surrounding areas. Fraser Snowden sits down with MP Brian Storseth to talk about the highlights and challenges over the past year. He touches on the projects they've been working on in local communities and distractions they've faced as a party.
The Conservative MP riding of Westlock St. Paul has seen a lot of achievements over the year. This includes working with surrounding communities on growth and infrastructure. I had a chance to sit down with MP Brian Storseth.
Well, our government's had some amazing milestones this year. It's been a good year. We're staying on track to balance the books. We're making sure that we focus on the economy. Our jobs numbers have went up. It's been a very good year for Canadians as a whole. You know, we're still like the bright light in the G8 and the global economic economy. I think from a local perspective, it's been a very positive year as well. Obviously, we've got some positive infrastructure announcements. We've made headway on our CRISP work, in which I'm working with Minister Ambrose to bring money into Northeast Alberta to address some of the specific issues of infrastructure and growth that we have in Northeast Alberta. I've been able to bring all of our municipalities together and agree on a framework in which we're going to move forward on. But you know, on a personal level, we've finally got royal assent of my private member's bill this year, protecting freedom and removing Section 13 of the Canadian Human Rights Act. So it was a pretty big milestone for myself and our constituents and all Canadians in embracing freedom of speech in Canada. So it's been a very busy year in Parliament and one that I hope will carry on into 2014.
How do you think things went for this ride in particular over 2013?
I think we had a great year. You know, whether it's New Horizons for seniors money, whether it's different money through Human Resources Skills Development Canada, bringing forward some of the issues with growth that we're having. You know, we're in a very special bubble here in Northeast Alberta where the growth has never slowed down through the global economic recession, and it's something that we've really brought forward to the ministers of different portfolios, whether it's with the Temporary Foreign Workers Program, whether it's with some of the jobs training and skills development that we're working on as a government, whether it's on balancing the books. We've had a very good year in our local communities. We've worked on a lot of projects, and one of the ones that I think I'm most proud of as an individual member of Parliament is the Hockey Night in St. Paul that we hosted here jointly with our Hockey Night in St. Paul board. We brought Stan Smeal back home to St. Paul. We had a big fundraiser. We raised over $100,000 for local charities in one night for the women's shelter, for the different ag societies, and one of the keys to it is we brought the local communities together. You know, it was great to see Elk Point working with St. Paul and St. Paul working with Mallaig and Glendon working with everybody, and we hope to bring that framework together again next year. And it's one of the things I try to do all the time as a member of Parliament for the Lakeland region, is bring all of our communities together. There's so many little things that are easy to be divisive on. It's more important that we all work together. We're more powerful as one strong voice.
How do you think things went for the Conservative Party with all the distractions with the House?
Which distractions are you talking about?
The distractions.
I mean, the House, there's distractions. I mean, that's what opposition's supposed to do, right? So there's distractions every year with the House. So which ones in particular?
The Senate distraction.
The Senate distraction? You know what? I believe that we've got some amazing accomplishments. And it's unfortunate that it hasn't got some of the media that it deserves. And we signed one of the largest free trade agreements in the history of our country with Europe. It's going to bring 500 million people for us to trade with. It reduces tariffs and any number of different exports that will affect us right here in the Lakeland. You know, our local media has been great in covering these things, but yes, you're right, at the national media, the top headline has been about the Senate. Seems like forever now, but in reality, I think people in this area and in our Lakeland community understand that we are still one of the global economic leaders. We're still moving forward with growth, sustainable growth that brings to make sure the environment is a top priority when we're looking at our growth. We've signed a free trade agreement with Europe. I think there's been some amazing accomplishments in 2013 for our government, and the fact that you know, some of the scandals, celebrity scandal that kind of follows it has taken up some of the news space on it is certainly unfortunate, but it's something that I think the Prime Minister has addressed head on. He has taken very straightforward response to this, and I'm proud of the fact that I think we're going to move forward in a very positive manner and continue to be one of the global leaders in our country.
What can we look forward to from the party next year?
Well, you know, the Prime Minister has said that we're going to remain focused on jobs, growth, and long-term prosperity for Canadians. That means that we need to continue to work with the provinces, particularly here with the province of Alberta, to address our skills shortages and our labour shortages. Minister Kenney is working on the Canada Jobs Grant to make sure that Canadians have access to that, and it's important that we as Albertans train and develop our own skilled labour force within Alberta. We're going to continue to focus on balancing the books. We're going to continue to focus on issues that Canadians want us to focus on. You know, one of the big things I hear back home that has not been talked about as much, but is certainly a huge issue back home, is First Nations Education Act, and making sure we're working to bring forward a stronger education system for our First Nations so that we can have more First Nations involved in our labor and job shortages, so that we can continue to develop and use all of our population and increase the productivity of our country and our region. I think these are some things that we need to focus on, and we're going to continue to focus on moving into the future.
Okay, and what does the Conservative Party have to say for Christmas wishes?
Well, you know, first of all, I would like to wish all the constituents of the Lakeland happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Please make sure that you drink and drive responsibly, and I look forward to working with everybody in 2014, and I hope everybody has a great holiday. That was MP Brian Storseth for West Loch, St. Paul. I'm Fraser Snowden.